it's not whether you sit all the time or not. It's simply what is the crucial factor that you are really sincere about it.
You have done a huge practice in your life, very long and very intense. And what made you start? I mean, there are some people, for example, who have some ailments or some problems or something, and then they go to a teacher or the healer or something, somebody like that, in order to get healed and so, and eventually they get healed, but maybe also they get something else, and then they continue their practice, although the initial starter, which was the disease or the kind of depression or whatever it is already long gone. Yeah. But still they connected to something deeper, and they continue the practice. So just for curiosity, what was your initial
Actually, I cannot say one point in time, because as long as I remember, there was that curiosity, knowing to what the heck is going on here. Feeling totally strange as a child in this world, thinking something is wrong, why am I here? And then when I got in touch with yoga, already there I had fantasies. I was a 14-year-old lad and had fantasies. One day I go to the Himalayas and find a yogi and sit in the cave with a yogi and stuff like that. And then I came to India with 25 to an ashram studying Vedanta. It was a very good school for Vedanta, but more and more I understood it's not my cup of tea. If somebody wants to go on that way and study more and try to go deeper in that way, fine. But more and more I felt I really want to sit, that's my thing. And then I came to Amma and she totally confirmed, you can sit, you want to sit, don't do anything else. So that's what I did after that, as good as I could. It was really an urge that I felt I'm getting closer to something I'm looking for, I'm yearning for, by simply meditating as good as much as I can.
Okay, I mean, one can take this one as a starter, but this, I mean, what you did was a very strenuous thing, going up and down for many, many, many years. So still, I mean, initially everybody has maybe some kind of feeling of there's something different in this world, and maybe one meets some people who have some special inner realization, and therefore they have some kind of charisma, and one feels good in their presence and all this. But from all this, you at least in my understanding, you do not automatically get the power to sit every day, year after year after year, no matter what. I mean that's some kind of a superhuman feat in a way. So now you in a way you put aside anything else and just focused on that. So that there must have been some. I suppose you had some glimpses at some time which were so kind of fascinating. That is what I want to go there again. I mean that's my theory. That's maybe my approach. Maybe you're very different, but yeah.
Actually, I had those moments where everything stopped, full of peace and joy, since I was a child. I thought this is normal. Everybody has those. Finding out that maybe it's not so, or maybe all the children have, and after that they all lose it. But this happened as long as I remember. and that somehow inspired me. And then when I started to really meditate with Amma, I mean, that I could continue like this was due to that connection with her, the faith in her. Even when I was pissed off and thought, I can't anymore, I don't want anymore, nothing is happening, somehow she just managed to always encourage me to continue. Without that support, I don't think I could have done what I done the first 10 years. This, you said there was this big up and down. This was mainly in the first years that I struggled and thought, now within short time something should happen, and having the feeling not much is happening and getting totally depressed sometimes about it, and trying to do all kinds of tricks to force the divine that something is happening. Made only a fool out of myself, but still, even when I was struggling within that struggle, it did happen in my long hours of sitting, that in between there those moments which I know already my whole life long, those moments came where everything stopped and there was peace, and confirming that after all it makes totally sense to go in this direction. And in a way, deep down was that decision there. Now I've tried all kinds of other things in my life before, but now I'm just going for that. And either I succeed or I die trying to get there. But there is no third solution, not giving up and going for something else. That was simply out of the question. Still, I think, no, I'm sure, I couldn't have pulled it through if I had been on my own, if I hadn't had that support of Amma being there, sometimes cajoling me, saying, hey, come on, my little baby, just work a little more, it will be all right. Sometimes rather threatening me, saying, hey, you fellow, don't you dare to give up. It's such a grace in this restless age to be able to sit like this. If you throw it away, giving me the feeling very bad things are going to happen. But it was not really that fear that drove me on, just that it was so deeply ingrained that when the time came, that I have the opportunity and got the support and the surroundings that I could do so, there was simply no more question about it. That is my story. Doesn't mean now everybody has to sit on their bum all the time to get somewhere. For me, I felt that's how it goes. And Amma felt, yeah, that's how I want to, and that's sooner or later something may work. So she very, very much encouraged me and supported me. Anyhow, that's my story. Like one very inspiring man that I met in Bombay, Nisargadatta, he never did such a thing. I mean, he did for a few years an intense practice that all the spare time he had, he was sitting alone in his room, intensely connecting with his guru and his guru's teaching. But at the same time, he was living his family life marrying away his daughters, like a good Indian papa should do, earning his money by rolling and selling beedis, smoking them all the time. So it's not whether you sit all the time or not, it's simply what is the crucial factor that you are really sincere about it. That somehow that sincerity comes by being fed up with suffering. I've had it, seeing that whatever tried to make me happy may feel like makes me happy for a moment, and there is always so much suffering involved, and that it comes really deep out of you that this is not natural, because everybody deep down knows it's not natural to suffer. Our nature, our true nature, is joyousness, is bliss, is peace. Consciousness naturally is expanding and not being forced to turn around and round and round in a little bubble that makes us suffer. And if we are really fed up to create suffering any longer, then that sincerity comes that we do whatever we feel we need to do to get out of suffering. Well, is there anything you would like to add?
Not now.
Not now. Shall we leave it at that?
In Switzerland.
In Switzerland, okay. Hari Om, Lutz. Hari Om.